Yeah, there's a sign. We had limped into the remote outpost of Bird Island in the Seychelles. With critical energy and water systems on Nessie still being repaired and outfitted, and a recently discovered broken jib furler, we were skating on thin ice during this Shakedown Cruise. Fingers crossed, everything would keep working aboard. We wanted to explore this strange little place, understand why its name used to be Island of the Cows, but now there were just a million birds and giant tortoises.
Show us. Show us. Where is it?
These are brown noddies, a very common seabird that we often see in our travels. They live in all the tropical oceans, shown here in blue, and breed in the areas shown in orange. Here's the location of Bird Island in the Seychelles in western Indian Ocean, about 700 miles southeast of Somalia. Brown noddies are just one of 20 seabirds that call Bird Island home, including the impressive great frigate, the beautiful white-tailed tropic bird, and the rather funny-looking Seychelles blue pigeon. However, the island is most famous for its colony of sooty terns, which reach numbers of up to 1.5 million birds nesting on the northern shores of the island. They are amazing birds, the ultimate flyers. They never land except for nesting, sometimes flying non-stop for years at a time, just sleeping on the go and getting food from the ocean surface. Yet they choose Bird Island as their landing spot to roost once a year. I wondered why. As it turns out, this hotel played a big role in bringing the birds back. In the late 1800s, the island had become a coconut plantation, eliminating much of the native vegetation used by the sooty terns for their delicate ground nests. The bird numbers plummeted, also due to the rats, which ate the bird eggs. In 1970, Bird Island was purchased by a Seychellois accountant intent on restoring its original nature. A simple hotel was built with an airstrip on the same year that Seychelles received its first international flights, 1972. Do you know that this is where the airplanes land to come to Bird Island? Right here. This is the airstrip. Wow. But it's made out of grass. Isn't that cool? A reforestation program brought back the native vegetation and the rats were exterminated. During the next 10 years, 60,000 sooty terns turned into 1 million. This ecotourism conservation success was so remarkable that the hotel won various awards and was featured in David Attenborough's classic BBC documentaries, Life of Birds.
A big turtle.
Whoa. There's another conservation story in Bird Island that can't be overlooked. The giant tortoises that are just roaming around. Thousands of years ago, they lived in almost every continent. Today, there are only two viable populations left in the world, the Galapagos Islands and here in the Seychelles.
Was he tired? Was he yawning?
We visited Galapagos on Aldebaran 8 years ago, just before our first Pacific crossing to Tahiti. Galapagos is renowned for amazing biodiversity. Personally, I was most impressed by the intimacy we had observing animals, how the marine iguanas, blue-footed boobies, penguins, sea lions, all just seemed to be living amongst us. Seems like a big school of fish. Tiny little sardines got corralled under the boat or something. Woke up this morning and the sea lions are just having a harvest, and now the brown naughty boobies and pelicans all got in on the feast. It's super fun to watch. It's like a super deep amount of fish cruise around.
That's so wild.
The brown naughties are now going excitedly around. However, its most famous residents, the giant tortoises, were always kept in breeding areas or far-away wilderness zones, definitely an arm's length away from daily life.
4-year-olds. Numerically painted. Oh, it's a feeding frenzy over here. These little tanks are just mowing down. They don't have quite an efficient way of eating, so they're almost gumming this, I don't know, these big leaves. It looks like rhubarb, some of it. It's like dense stems with big green foliage.
In the Seychelles, in contrast, the giant tortoises just tend to cruise around, which is pretty relaxed and quite fun. They're treated more like slow, lumbering pets. The hosts even encourage us to rub their necks, which the tortoises frankly seem to love. There are reasons for this difference in tortoise care between Seychelles and Galapagos, which we were to learn further along our travels. Suffice to say, Bird Island is doing its part as a sort of ecotourism preserve to help keep giant tortoise populations alive in different islands. So there was one other thing we were wondering about. Why was this island labeled on official nautical charts as Île aux Vaches, which in French stands for Island of the Cows, and now it's known as Bird Island? How does that make sense? The reason for this strange mystery lies in the waters around the island. You see all the dark areas in the water? That isn't coral, that's actually seagrass. Vast fields of seagrass surround the island, which in the past attracted a marine mammal that absolutely loves to eat that. That animal is the dugong, a type of manatee. They were known as sea cows for their gentle behavior and love of grass. When the French first colonized Seychelles in 1700s, the waters around this island were reportedly full of these sea cows, hence the name. Dugongs live in many parts of the Indian Ocean, but their numbers are dwindling in threat of extinction. Despite the successes of Bird Island with the birds and tortoises, the dugongs or sea cows are long gone from this place. They're notoriously elusive and difficult to monitor and offer a cautionary tale that just because something is abundant at the moment doesn't mean that's the case forever. Delicate, vulnerable animals like dugongs can disappear, and with them, much of the balance that keeps an ecosystem healthy. We hoped we would get a chance to see them further south along the Mozambique Channel where we heard they live in greater numbers. We said farewell to Bird Island, this place of abundance of birds, playfulness of tortoises, and the ghosts of dugongs from the past.